Chapter 9, Force and Law of Motion. In the previous chapter, we discussed the motion of an object along a straight line. Okay, we have already studied in chapter number 8 about the motion of an object along a straight line in terms of its position, velocity, and acceleration. Okay, on the basis of what? Okay, position, velocity, and acceleration. Okay, we have studied about the straight line motion or a motion which is in a straight line. Okay, we have already studied about that. Okay, now we saw that such a motion can be uniform or non-uniform. Okay, motion should be what? Okay, uniform or non-uniform. Motion should be uniform motion also or non-uniform also. Okay, it is divided into two parts. Okay, so same way we have not yet discovered what the causes the motion. Okay, how the motion cause. Okay, we have not discussed yet. Why does the speed of an object changes with time? Okay, how the speed of an object is changing? Okay, do all the motion require of causes? If so, what is the nature of a cause? In this chapter, we shall make an attempt to squash all such curiosity. Okay, now in this chapter, we will study that only. Okay, how the motion is seen. Okay, and what is the phenomena for creating a motion? Okay, some of the characteristics are affecting for the causing a motion. Okay, what is that characteristic? Okay, we will study in detail about that only, that how the motion is seen, okay, on the object. Okay, and what is the cause for that? For many centuries, the problem of motion and its cause has puzzled scientists and philosophers. A ball on the ground, when given a small heat, okay, if we are hitting a little bit of heat is given to a ball, what will be seen? Does not move forever. Okay, it will move. Okay, little bit it will move from one place to another, but for a little bit of time, for a second of period. Okay. Such observation suggests that a rest is the natural state of object, in which you have seen that naturally it get rest. Okay, so it is said that whenever a ball is given a heat, at that time it will move for a little bit of time or a small period of time, then it will be stay at rest. Okay, this remained the belief until Galileo Galilei and Isaac Newton developed an entirely different approach of understanding motion. Okay, they have given a proper amount of concept and approach, okay, through which it is suggested that what is the motion is. Okay, so these two scientists has given. Now, in our everyday life, we observe that some effort is required to put a stationary object into motion or to stop a moving object. Okay, we know it very well. Here you can see a boy is pushing a trolley bag. Okay, here you can see that the boy have to give a force, okay, for moving a object. Okay, so from this we can see that stationary object into a motion. For here you can see that trolley was in a stationary form. Okay, but whenever a boy has given a force, what it get a motion. Okay, what it get a motion. And same way, okay, if the moving object is there, for stopping that moving, okay, we need a energy. Same way, okay, so both of the phenomena you can see that stationary into motion or to stop a moving object. Okay, both of the phenomena you can see in everyday life. We ordinarily experience this as a muscular effort, okay, which we say it as a muscular effort, and say that we must push or hit or pull on the object to change its state of motion. Okay, for changing a state of a motion, we need which of the characteristics? Okay, we need push, pull, and hit a object. Then it will change its motion. Okay, what will be change? That it get change its state. Okay, from one state to another state, and it will flow in a motion. The concept of the force is based on this push. Okay, so here you can see that concept has came which, okay, force. Okay, force concept has gained, okay, which are totally depend on push, hit and pull. Okay, so that is a one type of force which we are giving, okay, to an object, and due to which motion is seen in the object. Okay, so let us now ponder about a force. Okay, now we will study about the force. What is it? In fact, no one has seen. Okay, we are not able to see a force, taste or felt a force. Okay, however, we always see or feel the effort of a force. Okay, just we are seeing and feeling a effect of force. It can only be explained by the describing what happened when a force is applied to an object. Okay, if the object is applied by any force, then what is seen? Okay, pushing, hitting and pulling of an object are all way for bringing a object in motion. Okay, if we are pushing an object or pulling object or hitting an object, then what will be seen? That it bring a object in motion. Okay, through which the object will come in a motion. They move because we make a force act on it. Why it is moving? Because they are moving object. Because they move because we are giving acting a force. Okay, whenever a force is given to an object, it will change its state. Okay, so it will come in motion. Okay, it will move. So we say it as a for moving a object, we need a force. Okay, for moving a object, we need a force. From your study in earlier classes, you also familiar with the fact that a force can be used in the change the magnitude of a velocity. Okay, for changing a magnitude of a velocity, we need a force. Or to change the direction of a motion, we also know that a force can change the shape and size. Okay, force can change a shape and size of an object. Okay, shape and size of an object can be changed by a force. Here you can see that here spring is what? Okay, spring expand on application of force. Okay, if we are applying a force, then it will expand. In same way, a spherical ball, okay, rubber ball which you are seeing, become along as we apply force on it. Okay, so here in both the cases we are giving a force. Okay, in the first one, okay, spring is expanded if we stretch it. Okay, what we are doing? We are stretching a spring. So you can see that it get expanded. Okay, while in the second case you can see that spherical rubber ball, okay, become oblong. Okay, become oblong if we applying a force inside. Okay, so here you can see in this both the cases, okay, object is changing its shape. Balanced and unbalanced force. Okay, now we have already studied about the force, but forces also have a different type of division. Okay, the first is balanced and second one is unbalanced force. So it is divided into balanced force and unbalanced force. Now figure 9.3 show a wooden block on a horizontal table. Two strings X and Y are tied to the two opposite faces of a block as shown, okay, which you are seeing here. Okay, this is the figure. Okay, X and Y. Okay, in the right hand side the X is given and left hand side it is Y. Okay, if we apply the force by pulling the string X, the block begin to move to the right. Okay, here you can see that if we are pulling a string X, okay, if we are pulling a string X, then obviously it will move towards the right hand side. Similarly, if we pull the string Y, okay, if we are pulling a string Y, okay, what we are doing? We are pulling a string Y, then it will move towards the left because Y is at left hand side, okay, and we are pulling a string Y, so it will move towards the left hand side. Okay, so but if the both is pulled from the both the side, if we are pulling equal amount of force from X also and Y also, okay, then what will be seen? The block will not move. Okay, because we are giving equal amount of force from both the direction. Okay, if we are giving a equal amount of force from both the direction, object will not move. So here our object is block, so block is not moving. Why? Because we are giving equal amount of force from both the direction. Once again I am repeating. Okay, what we have done, in table you can see, okay, there is a table in which block is placed. Okay, in block you are able to see that X string is there which is at right hand side and Y string is there along a left hand side. Okay, if you pull X string, okay, if you are pulling a X string, then but obvious a block will move towards the right hand side. Why? Because we are pulling a X string. Okay, if we are pulling a X string, okay, then block will move towards the right hand side. Okay, same way if we are pulling a Y string, okay, then block will move towards the left hand side. Okay, if we are pulling a Y string, then it will move towards the left hand side. But what about it when we are pulling a equal amount of force and we are giving equal amount of force from X also and Y also? Okay, so the block will not move. Why? Because we are giving equal amount of force from both the direction, X also and Y also. Okay, so the object will not move or block will not move in this case. Such forces are called balance force. Why we say it as a balance force? Because we are giving equal amount of force to both the direction. We are giving equal amount of force. Okay, because of which, okay, object will not move and we are giving equal amount of force. So it is said to be a balance force. What? Balance. Okay, because in X also same force is there and Y also same force is there. Okay, so it is said to be a balanced force and do not change the state or rest or motion of an object. So it will not change its state. Okay, state जो होगा वो change होगा नहीं. Okay, now let us consider a situation in which two opposite force of a different magnitude pull the block. Okay, now if we are giving a different amount of magnitude from two opposite force, okay, in case the block will begin to move in the direction of greater force. Okay, block will move towards the greater force. Okay, जहाँ पे भी ज़्यादा amount of force होगी उस direction में वो क्या करेगा? तो कि move करेगा. Okay, the block will move towards the greater direction force. Okay, the force, okay, wherever, in whichever direction the force is greater, block will move towards that direction. Thus the two forces are not balanced. Okay, the two forces are not balanced and the unbalanced force act in the direction the block move. Okay, जहाँ पे भी unbalanced force will be there. Okay, wherever block will move. This suggests that the unbalanced force acting on an object bring it in a motion. So obvious, okay, if we are applying unbalance of force, then object will move, okay, and it will come in a motion. What happened when some children try to push a box on a rough front? Okay, here children are trying to push a if they push, the box will small force. Okay, box are getting a small force. The box does not move because of a friction acting in a direction opposite to the push. Okay, why? Because some friction is acting on the box and due to which the force whichever giving a children that will oppose the push. Okay, the push. Okay, child are pushing a box. Okay, that push is opposed by which? Okay, friction. Due to which this friction force arises between two surfaces in contact. In the case between the bottom of the box and floor rough surface. Okay, so it is applying between which two? Okay, bottom of the box and floor rough surface. It balances the pushing force and therefore the box does not move. Why? Because of pushing force which are given by a children that can be opposed by the friction force. Okay, so because of which friction force is greater. Okay, friction force is more as compared to a pushing force. So the box will not move. Okay, The children push the box harder, but the box still does not move. This is because the friction force still balances the pushing force. Okay. Once again, children are pushing now. They are pushing harder. Okay. With a great strength or more strength, they are pushing a box. Then also box is not moving. Why? Because friction force is greater than pushing force. Okay. Children are giving a force to a box, but that force is not sufficient to move a object because friction force of a box is greater as compared to a pushing force. Okay, so if the children push the saw box harder, the pushing force become bigger than the friction force. There is an unbalanced force, so the box starts moving. If the children are pushing greater, okay, bigger than a friction force, okay, अगर फ्रिक्शन फोर्स जो होगा वो ज़्यादा होगा, ओके, फ्रिक्शन फोर्स जो होगा वो ज़्यादा होगा पुशिंग फोर्स से, तो बॉक्स हो जाएगा नहीं. पर अगर पुशिंग फोर्स जो है वो क्या हो जाएगा, ग्रेटर. इफ द पुशिंग फोर्स इज ग्रेटर देन फ्रिक्शन फोर्स, देन बॉक्स विल मूव, क्योंकि बॉक्स के अंदर जितना भी फ्रिक्शन फोर्स था उससे ज़्यादा हमने फोर्स दिया है, पुशिंग फोर्स दिया है. ओके, सो इट विल मूव. ओके, व्हाट हैपन व्हेन वी राइड अ बाइसाइकिल? When we stop a pedaling, the bicycle begin to slow down. Okay, whenever we are stop pedaling, what will be seen? That the bicycle will stop. We have to start pedaling again. Once again we have to pedal it. Why? Because we are giving force. It thus appears that an object maintains its motion under the continuous application of an unbalanced force. However, it is quite incorrect. An object moves with the uniform velocity. Okay, whenever the object is moving, okay, they will need some uniform velocity, and due to which it will work. The motion will be seen. When the force acting on the object are balanced and there is no net external force on it, if an unbalanced force is applied on the object, there will be a change either in its speed or in the direction of its motion. Okay, what will be seen? If we are giving unbalanced force to an object, then and only then object will move from its original position. Okay, for changing its motion, for changing object motion, we need unbalanced force. If the unbalanced force is given to a particular object, then and only then object will change its state. Thus, to accelerate the motion of an object, an unbalanced force is required. That's why only for acceleration of a motion, we need unbalanced force. Which type of force? Unbalanced force. Then and only then it will move and it will change its state. And the change in its speed will continue as long as this unbalanced force is applied. Okay, up to what the speed is changing, up to that time only, up to unbalanced force is applied. Okay, when we are removing unbalanced force, it will come at a rest position. However, if this force is removed, if we are removing this force, then what will be seen? A object will continue to move with the velocity it has acquired till then. Okay, it will move with the same direction.
Imagine you're sitting on a recliner chair watching your favorite movie on a lazy Sunday. And your mom calls out your name and asks you to run some errands. You can imagine how difficult it would be for you to get up and do the work. Imagine you're practicing for your 100 meters race on this track. And somebody asks you to stop immediately within a second. Will you be able to do it? What if you're suddenly asked to turn towards the right? Will you be able to turn immediately? The answer to both the questions would be a no. You can stop, yes, but gradually. You can also turn, but not sharply. And guess what? It's the same story with every object. Every object will continue to do what it's doing. If it's at rest, it will remain at rest. And if it's in motion, it will stay in motion. But what can change this? Yes, only an unbalanced force can change this. If it's at rest and an unbalanced force acts on it, it will move. If it's in constant motion and an unbalanced force acts on it, it may accelerate or change direction. And this is nothing but the Newton's first law of motion. Here's the correct definition. An object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. In simple words, it means that the objects continue to do what they're doing unless some external unbalanced force acts on them. We can also understand this using a simple diagram. If the forces are balanced, there can be two cases. An object may be at rest, or an object will be in motion at a non-zero constant velocity in a particular direction. These can be the only two cases when the forces are balanced. In the first case, the object will continue to remain at rest, and in the second, the object will continue to stay in motion at the same velocity and in the same direction.